At my wedding, my sister stood up during the vows and smirked. Funny how she's marrying my ex-fiancé. Gasps filled the room as my groom froze in shock. My parents laughed. You always stole from her. It's karma. I turned to my groom and asked, is this true? He shook his head, but I knew the truth. Smiling, I said, I hope you're ready for my surprise. I stepped aside, and the church doors opened, revealing who he had really been cheating with. My sister's smirk vanished, my groom turned pale, and the entire wedding erupted in chaos. Let's back up a bit. I never thought my wedding day would turn into the most humiliating and chaotic moment of my life. I had dreamed of this day for years, imagined walking down the aisle with all eyes on me for the right reasons, not because my entire world was about to explode. My sister, Rebecca, had always had it out for me. I don't know if it was jealousy or some deep-seated resentment, but she made sure to ruin every good thing in my life. If I made a friend, she found a way to turn them against me. If I got a good grade, she would downplay it or make sure my parents didn't care. And relationships? Oh, she made those a nightmare. She dated my high school boyfriend behind my back. I found out when she sent me a picture of them kissing. She laughed it off, saying I should get over it because he clearly wanted her more. So when she got engaged a few years ago, I did the mature thing. I supported her. I was her maid of honor. I helped with the wedding planning, stood by her side, and smiled even when I knew she didn't deserve my kindness. But karma took care of her before I had to. Her fiancé left her 6 weeks before the wedding. She was devastated, and for once, I actually felt bad for her. I thought maybe this would change her, humble her, make her realize how it felt to be betrayed. I was wrong. Because now, 2 years later, here she was, standing up in the middle of my wedding, throwing a grenade into my perfect day. I stared at her, my heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Funny how she's marrying my ex-fiancé, Rebecca said, her voice dripping with smugness. Gasps rippled through the church. My friends, my family, my coworkers. The man I was about to marry, Daniel, stood frozen, his face drained of color. And then my parents. Oh, my parents. They didn't look shocked. They didn't even look mad. No, they laughed. You always stole from her, my mom said, shaking her head like I was some villain in this story. It's karma. Karma. I almost laughed at the irony. I turned to Daniel, my breath shaky, my hands clenched so hard my nails dug into my palms. Is this true? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Daniel shook his head. No, of course not. I don't even know why she's saying that. His voice wavered, his panic evident. But I wasn't stupid. Because deep down, I had already known. I had seen the signs. The late nights. The weird phone calls. The way he flinched whenever Rebecca was around, like he was waiting for something to go wrong. And I had prepared for this moment. So I smiled. A slow, knowing smile. I hope you're ready for my surprise, I said. And then I stepped aside. The church doors creaked open, and the room went dead silent. Because standing there, in the doorway, was the person Daniel had really been cheating with. Rebecca's smirk vanished. Daniel turned ghost white. And then, pure chaos erupted. A heavy silence filled the church, thick and suffocating. Every single pair of eyes darted from me to the doorway, where the real secret stood, exposed like an open wound. And there, gripping the door frame as if their legs might give out, was Daniel's mistress. Not another woman. Not some random ex. It was my maid of honor. My best friend, Sarah. The woman I had trusted more than anyone. The woman who had stood by my side through every heartbreak, through every betrayal, including the ones caused by my own sister. Rebecca's smugness melted off her face like wax. She took a slow, stumbling step backward, her hand covering her mouth. No, that's not, but it was. Sarah stood there, her face pale, her eyes wide with fear. Daniel didn't say a word. He didn't have to. The sheer horror on his face said everything. The gasps turned into whispers, then murmurs, then full-blown chaos. My aunt clasped her hands over her chest. My uncle shook his head in disgust. The officiant, poor guy, looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. Sarah opened her mouth, as if searching for the right words, but nothing came out. Rebecca whipped toward Daniel, her expression a wild mix of rage and disbelief. You cheated on me with her. She jabbed a finger at me, but then you went and cheated on her with Sarah? Daniel finally found his voice. Rebecca, please, she didn't let him finish. With a sharp, cracking sound, her palm met his cheek. Hard. The entire room gasped again. Some of the guests were actually enjoying this. I saw my cousin whispering excitedly to her husband, as if this was the best entertainment she'd had in years. I should have felt humiliated. Angry. Shattered. But all I felt was, free. I turned to Sarah, my voice eerily calm. How long? Tears welled in her eyes. How long? I repeated, my voice sharp enough to cut through the noise. She swallowed hard, looking at Daniel, then at me. She knew there was no way out of this. A year. My best friend had been sleeping with my fiancé for an entire year. Rebecca let out a bitter laugh. Wow. So you didn't just steal my fiancé, you stole hers too? Looks like karma came for you after all. Our mother gave her a look, but Rebecca ignored her, turning back to me. I was planning on ruining your wedding, but damn, this is better than anything I could have done. I didn't even care about Rebecca anymore. I turned back to Daniel. So all those nights you said you were working late, he swallowed hard. Sarah stepped forward, reaching for my hand. I swear, I never meant to hurt you. I stepped back. Don't. She froze, her hand still hovering in the air, her lip trembling. You didn't accidentally sleep with my fiancé for a year. My voice shook now, but not from sadness. From rage. You didn't accidentally betray me over and over again. Daniel ran a hand through his hair, his face still drained of color. Baby, I let out a sharp laugh. Baby? He thought we were still doing that? I turned to the guests, my voice clear and strong. Well, everyone, it looks like there won't be a wedding today. Some people looked sad. Some looked awkward. Some looked entertained as hell. I didn't care. I turned to my parents. And you, I said coldly, you really stood there and told me this was karma? Like I deserve this? My mother shifted uncomfortably. Sweetheart, we just know. Don't, sweetheart, me. I shook my head. You never defended me. Not once. You always sided with her, no matter what she did to me. And now you're laughing at my pain? For the first time, I saw a flicker of something in my mother's face, something like regret. My father looked away as if unable to meet my eyes. Rebecca, of course, had no shame. Because if Daniel, Sarah, and Rebecca thought this was over, they were dead wrong. As soon as I stepped outside, the crisp autumn air hit me, clearing my head. My bridesmaids, well, former bridesmaids, had followed me out, wide-eyed and speechless. One of them, Jessica, finally found her voice. What the hell just happened? I let out a sharp laugh. What happened? I found out my fiancé was cheating on me with my best friend. And my sister, instead of feeling even a little bit bad for me, was thrilled because she thought it was karma for something I never even did. Jessica swore under her breath. I swear to God, I knew something was off about Sarah. She always acted weird when Daniel was around. Another bridesmaid, Vanessa, stepped closer. What are you gonna do now? I took a deep breath. I need to get out of here. But first, I have something else planned. Because this wasn't just a ruined wedding. This was war. Money and power. I didn't go home. I didn't cry in my car. I drove straight to Daniel's apartment. Not to confront him. No, I had something better in mind. See, what Daniel didn't know was that his apartment lease was in my name. Yep. He had bad credit, so I was the one who signed for the place. And every bill? The utilities? Even the Wi-Fi? All under my account. So I walked right in, because of course I had a key, and started packing up everything I had ever bought. The couch? Mine. The TV? Mine. The expensive espresso machine he just had to have? Mine. And then, the best part, I pulled up my phone and canceled everything. Electricity? Gone. Internet? Gone. Streaming services? Gone. And the apartment itself? Oh, I called the landlord and let them know I was terminating the lease immediately. Daniel had 30 days to get out. 30 days, no electricity, no internet, and absolutely no furniture. And I made sure to text him a picture of the empty living room. Hope you and Sarah have fun figuring this out. Exposing the truth now, Sarah. Sarah, who had been my best friend since college. Who had cried on my shoulder about her ex cheating. Who had helped me pick out my wedding dress while sleeping with my fiancé behind my back. I wasn't letting her get away with this. I pulled up my phone and went straight to our group chat, the one with all our mutual friends. And I typed, "Hey everyone. Just wanted to let you all know that Sarah has been sleeping with Daniel for a year behind my back. Figured you'd want to know before you trust her with anything important." Slightly smiling face, and then I hit send. The chat exploded. Messages flew in so fast I could barely read them. What? No way. OMG, are you serious? Sarah, is this true? And then, silence. Because Sarah had left the group. But I wasn't done yet. I went straight to Facebook, uploaded a picture of me in my wedding dress, and wrote, "Well, today didn't go as planned. Found out at the altar that my fiancé was cheating on me with my maid of honor. But don't worry, I handled it." Slightly smiling face, I didn't tag them. I didn't need to. Within minutes, people were sharing it. Commenting. My inbox filled with messages. Some from people offering support. Some from other women who had their own stories about Daniel. And then, the best part, someone tagged Sarah's boyfriend. Yes, she had a boyfriend. I had forgotten about him in all the chaos. And guess what? He saw the post. And he went off. He posted a long, angry rant about how Sarah had been cheating on him too, and how he had suspected something but never had proof. Until now. Sarah tried to play the victim. She posted some fake apology about how she had made a mistake, and how she never meant to hurt anyone. But people weren't buying it. Her name was ruined. She had no one left. Now my sister. Oh, my dear, spiteful sister. At first, I thought maybe exposing Daniel and Sarah was enough. Maybe she would realize that she had sided with the wrong person. But then, I found out she wasn't done yet. Because 2 days after the wedding that never happened, she had the audacity to call me. And do you know what she said? Not, I'm sorry. Not, I was wrong. No. She laughed. You know, she said, you might have embarrassed Daniel and Sarah, but at the end of the day, you're still the pathetic one. You got left at the altar. Everyone's going to remember that. I let her laugh. I let her think she had one. Because she had no idea what I had planned next. Because I knew something she didn't. Something that would ruin her the way she had tried to ruin me. And when I was done, she would never see it coming. I let her laugh. I let her think she had the upper hand. But what she didn't know was that I had one last card to play. And this one? This one would make sure she never messed with me again. Because, you see, Rebecca wasn't as perfect as she liked to pretend. She had secrets, ones she never thought would come back to haunt her. But I knew them all. And now? It was time to use them. Rebecca's biggest secret a few years ago, Rebecca had landed her dream job at a high-end real estate firm. She loved bragging about how much money she made, how important she was. What she didn't brag about? The fact that she had been committing fraud. See, Rebecca wasn't just selling houses, she was lying on mortgage applications to get bigger commissions. I found out by accident. She had left her laptop open one day, and I saw emails that didn't look right. At the time, I didn't say anything because, well, she was my sister. But now she had crossed the line. So, I did what any wrong sister would do. I gathered every single screenshot, email, and document I could find and sent them straight to her boss. And not just her boss, the authorities. It didn't take long for the fallout to begin. Rebecca loses everything. 2 weeks later, Rebecca was fired. Not just fired, investigated. Her company found proof of what she had been doing, and they weren't about to take the fall for her. She was hit with a massive lawsuit and was now facing criminal charges. And guess what? Her precious, perfect reputation? Destroyed. She called me in a panic, screaming, "You did this. You ruined my life." I calmly sipped my coffee. "You ruined mine first. You're a monster," she shrieked. I laughed. Look in the mirror. Then I hung up. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. Daniel and Sarah get what they deserve. Meanwhile, Daniel's life had gone down the drain. After I destroyed his apartment situation, he tried to move in with Sarah. But Sarah's boyfriend had kicked her out. And with nowhere to go, they had to move in with Daniel's parents. Yes, 2 grown adults, living in his childhood bedroom. Oh, and Daniel lost his job. Turns out, his boss saw my viral Facebook post and didn't want a liar and a cheater representing their company. Sarah wasn't doing much better. She tried apologizing to our friend group, but no one wanted to hear it. She was shunned. And last I heard, she was working at a gas station, trying to piece her life back together. Meanwhile, I was thriving. I took the honeymoon trip alone. I sat on the beach, drank cocktails, and watched the sunset knowing that every single one of them got exactly what they deserved. And when I got back, I started over, without them. And let me tell you, it felt amazing.